180 grand now. Loan shark, woman, 4 sons, address. Messaged me through his burner phone, straight onto my burner phone. As we're driving into South London, who sat by the traffic lights? Armed coppers. So I take a chase in the central London. We crashed the car, running. I don't know where I'm going. End up by the pier. I'm looking at them, they're looking at me. I looked at them, I said, jump. From there, a full-fledged robber.
Armed robberies?
Guns, yeah.
Was there any nerves from you going into doing any of these jobs?
No, because I convinced myself, what's in there is mine. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
I was in a situation where I shot someone in the neck with a shotgun. He looked at me as though I was a monster, despite the fact that we've grown up together as kids. I have the coke, I have the weed, I got the shotgun stored. Next thing, I hear a helicopter above the roof of the house. The door flies open. Oh, police! I'm in my boxes, I'm thinking, shit. I got laser beams on my chest, zip tie me, pitch black, whack, whack, whack. Oh, blood leaking out of me. Dash me into the back of the car. That was the first time I went to prison.
And how long did you get? Did you know that there was a bounty on your head at that time?
I didn't know how much until I got older.
How much was on your head? Ghost, welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. Let's roll all the way back. Where did you grow up and how did you end up having a hitman wanting to take you out?
I grew up in Canning Town, Newham, a little place called Canning Town. And I ended up actually having money put on me when I was 17. It was due to a stupid decision that I made, rational decision that I made when I was very young. That had serious repercussions. I wasn't aware of how deep or how serious the repercussions were until it was too late. Until I found out, the whole, borough, the whole area was on me. I had no idea. No one even said a single word. So by the time I found out, it was already too late, Yeah.
So that was when you were 17. What was life? Where were you born? And what was life like growing up?
Okay, so I was actually born in Uganda. I was born in Uganda. Went to school. Came here when I was like 6. So I went to school in Canning Town. There's a school called Ravenscroft Primary School. So actually, some of the guys that I came with, I went to school with. And then from there, there's a school called Cumberland. I don't know if you're aware of Cumberland, being from around there. So yeah, there was a secondary school called Cumberland. So I went to school and I was raised up in Newham, Canning Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And coming from Uganda, what was that feeling like coming from Uganda going straight into East London?
Do you know what? To be honest with you, it was a change, obviously. But I don't really have too much memories of that because I was still young. My mum, back in Uganda, she was well off. So she owned several properties. She had married into like an army general. Everyone knows, there's certain parts in Africa, that are corrupt. So certain people end up well off, certain people end up bad off. So not to say he was corrupt or whatever, but he had wealth. So I'll say like my mum married into this wealth. So not too long after they had been married, he passed away and she inherited, the houses and the land that he had. Yeah. And then from there, because he wasn't my biological father, my biological father was already in the UK, so he just wanted me to be with him. Yeah. My mum had other kids, so I went to be with my father.
Okay. Yeah. And was it just yourself who got flew over from Uganda? Was it?
Yeah, it was just me.
And because your mum wanted you to be with your biological dad? Yeah,
my dad, my mum had 4 other kids, and I think I was a handful from a young age. I was a handful from a young age. So she kind of needed, I wouldn't say a little break, but I think she thought it would be better for me to maybe, if I had a male role model in my life, to come and, spend some time with my dad. Yeah. Yeah.
What age were you when you started when you realised you were actually getting into naughty stuff?
That was in secondary school.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in secondary school. I find it that in secondary school, people try to find themselves. Yeah. So even just going from primary school to secondary school, believe it or not, that's a big shock because it's a change of environment. Yeah. There's older kids, much older, from primary school to secondary school. You got year 7 to year 11. So you can imagine someone as a
What age is that?
What's that, like 13, 12?
13, okay.
Or something like that. Okay. So you can imagine 12 or 13, now you're with 16-year-olds that are about to leave school. So you tend to look around and find yourself within that, you know. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, I've always been a little shit from young. I try to. I've always been getting in trouble, man. My whole life has just been a bit of trouble, you know. So
do you remember your first bit of trouble?
I'll share something with you that I haven't really shared with anyone. My first bit of serious trouble that I got into was with my mum. So we used to have house cleaners in Uganda because we had a lot of properties, and my mum needed these properties cleaned, and we used to like rent out houses and stuff like that. So I remember I had a dog because I used to love dogs as a kid. It was a German Shepherd, and the cleaner had cleaned the patio, and my dog came onto the patio with like muddy paws, and the cleaner hit my dog, so I think I absolutely lost it. This is like the very, very earliest bit of trouble that I got into, and I just went into a rage, and I picked up stones and I started throwing them at the cleaner for hitting my dog. So as a punishment, my mum locked me in one of these houses every day, right, as a punishment for 3 weeks from sunrise till sunset. Empty house. So you can imagine as a young kid, the mind frame, the mind state that does to you, you know. So every time I would wake up, she'll say, right, and I think this must have been during like school holidays or something like that. Right, empty house. It was a very empty, massive house. So I can see kids playing out, and you know, it's like hard bit of porridge at a young age, you know what I mean? So it's only now that I've become a man that I've realized that these things have a detrimental effect, you know, upon you, you know. Yeah.
So what age was it when trouble really come about in East London at the time? Were you talking 15, 16, 17, 18? What was that those years?
So this was in year 10.
Which is what age?
14, 15.
Okay.
Year 10, 14, 15. I had been hanging around with some boys. So look, in school you got a school life. Outside school, there's the area boys, the local boys that roll around in their pedal bikes, smoke spliffs. And this happens in every community. I started hanging around with the boys outside school, the local boys, and they used to smoke a bit of weed, and I could see that they used to do a little bit of hustle, selling puff and selling other things. So for me at that time, I tried a bit of cannabis. I got into the habit of smoking cannabis, and I needed to fund that habit. Right, so what I did, obviously you're not going to be asking your mum for money every day, you know, so you can buy a puff. And at this time, when I went to move with my dad, he was with someone else, so a stepmother of mine. And so she was like a mother figure for me growing up. Obviously I couldn't go to her and ask her for money. So I got a quarter of an ounce, you know, at that age to start off hustling.
Yeah.
At the time, the profits there's basically no profit in it. It's just to keep your habit ticking over. I took drugs into a school, and I remember selling a bit of puff to some kids that were younger than me. They reached out to me and asked me, you know, can you sell us some weed? Morally, I knew it was wrong, but they were pushing for it, and they had some money on them as well. I think that must have been at the time, if I was in year 10, they must have been in like year 8, year 9. I gave them a bit of weed. Giving them a bit of weed, they took the weed to the back of the back of the field, because we had like a massive sports field, and they smoked that weed. When they smoked that weed, I think one of them couldn't take the weed. He started having like an episode. So the kid started rolling around on the floor. His little pal that he's smoking with didn't know what to do. So he freaked out, went running down the field looking for anyone in charge, you know, like a sports teacher or any type of teacher to help him so he can bring awareness to what's happening at the end of the field. So upon doing that, he got a teacher. The teacher came. The kid's still having an episode. I think it's like, you know, like too much sun mixed with a bit of THC. You know. So the teacher came and asked, what just happened here? You know, the kid grasped, rightfully, you know, your friend's in trouble and, you know, you took a bit of puff. And and they ask you what's wrong, you don't really want to be held accountable by making up lies. They need to get the right, help to help this kid. So he said, we smoked a bit of puff. So the teachers want to know where did you get that weed from? He said, a guy in year 10 called Adam, right? I'm sitting in a classroom, and I remember as I'm sitting there, a friend of mine so the police had came in, because obviously the teachers called the police straight away. I think they must have asked the kids, did he? Because more time when you're selling it, you try to give people options, especially if it's bags of shit. You try to show that, hey, they're all the same type of bags.
Just a special one.
Yeah, this one's for you, specifically for you.
Yeah.
So he must have passed this information on. And the police got called into the school. The police came into the school. I'm sat in class, none the wiser what's happening downstairs. One of my friends come up into the class and he goes, "Woof," he goes, "I just heard the police are downstairs. I've heard your name." The teacher passing information to the police. So the teacher came upstairs with the police. Obviously, the police don't know what I look like. He needs to identify who, Adam Muganzi is from 10B or whatever. And the teacher came up, pointed at me. But before the teacher came up, my friend alerted me and said to me, there's police outside. And I panicked. And to be honest with you, I was a bit of a dick in school. You make fun of other people's expenses. Yeah. So in that situation, you look around and you see the whole classroom's looking at you, and I'm thinking, well, who do I give this bag to? I need to give this bag to someone, because if they take me away, I don't want to say I got a bag. I don't want to own up to anything. So there's one kid that I used to wedgie and give him a hard time. So out of everyone in the classroom, everyone put their head down. The kid put his hand up. He goes, "I'll help you." In that precise moment of time, I felt so much guilt for everything that I'd put him through, because now everyone that you thought were friends with you, no one wants to help you. And this kid that you've been wedging for years, for the past 4 years, he's looking to help you, right? Yeah. So the teachers came up with the coppers and they asked, Adam. I put my hand up. I said, "Yes, that's me." They said, "Can you come out, please?" So they've took me to a separate room to interview. They're asking me, because obviously they can't interview me. I need an adult with me. Yeah. So they're asking me, "Did you sell weed?" Blah, blah, blah. They're asking me about a bag. I remember it was a black Nike bag. They said, "Did you come with a bag?" I said, "I didn't come with no bag. I ain't got no bag." I said, "These are lies. I didn't sell anyone any weed." So as we're in there, right, I hear knock, knock, knock. Right, the door opens. As the door opens, guess who hands in the bag? The same kid I've been wedging for the past 4 years, and he had a smirk on his face. I'll never forget his name. Hey, I don't hold no feelings. But
what's his name?
His name's Robert. He's probably going to be watching this. That was like a payback. I remember his first surname, but I won't give his first surname away. His name's Robert. He handed in the bag and he had a little smirk on his face.
I'll get you back.
Yeah, take that. Right. I was permanently excluded.
So you got expelled from that school?
Permanently.
Okay, and that was at the age of what age?
14, 15.
Okay.
14, 15, between that age.
And then after that, what was your journey after that?
So my journey after that, from school, especially not proper school, they take you into a center. So now you're attend a center. You don't go to school because you got to finish your SATs? Yeah. GCSEs. You got to finish your GCSEs, and some of these centers don't have all the subjects that you'd have in a normal school. So in there, you meet all types of kids that have been kicked out of school. So now the company that you're keeping is just like you. Do you know what I mean? So from then, my interest in school just went out the window. So I just started focusing more on selling drugs within the community. So I went into selling weed. I sold a bit of weed. And then the more money you make from selling weed, you branch out into stuff like coke. You sell a bit of coke on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then what comes with that as well is, like patches. When people sell drugs in local areas, most of the times when there's drugs involved, there's going to be territorial
postcodes,
situations. And then from those situations, to be honest with you, we bypassed the knife carrying. Nowadays there's like a fashion to carry knives. Yeah.
What year are we talking here, roughly?
We're talking 2005, 2006.
2006. Okay.
So we went straight into guns we didn't carry knives. You know, if I'm going to be honest with you, I've never really... knives are a bit messy, so it's not my preferred weapon of choice. I've never really, you know, done anything with knives. We went straight to guns. And we're talking about high-powered, you know, handguns.
Yeah.
And
At what age was this?
That was like 16.
16. What sort of guns did you get your hands on?
My first gun was actually a 4.4 caliber handgun, 6-inch barrel, snub nose. That was a weapon, you know. It was very intimidating because I think the bullets were about this big, you know. And it's one of those guns that if you do fire it, car alarms tend to go off, and it packs a kick. My mum found that. Actually, the first gun that my mum found was a shotgun, and she threw that shotgun in the bin, and the bin men took that. I was very, very upset. At the time, just, you know, farmer shotguns, you get them for £500.
Yeah.
And I was very upset. She found it. She didn't say anything. She threw it in the bin. So I didn't approach her about it. The second time round, she found this 4.4 snub nose that I had. And I had spent a couple £1,000 on that. So as a 16, 17-year-old, if you're spending £3,500...
You're doing all right selling drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
If that gets taken, you have to address the situation. And my mum took that, but she hadn't thrown it away. So my sister come to me because, funny enough, because it's small and it's concealable, you tend to leave it in loose places. It's not like a sawn-off shotgun. You got to find this particular place to hide it. You know, you can. I remember I left it in a drawer as a one-off. My mum went in there, opened it. I used to keep it in a sock. She went in there, opened the drawer. When she's opened the drawer, she's took it. Every time I go out, I have to have it on me just in case.
Were you carrying everywhere you went?
Everywhere I went, right? Everywhere. Listen, prior to going to prison, you would never see me, apart from the leading up to the time, right? That's the one time that I didn't have it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So before I've gone out, my sister told me, your mum's found your gun. So I'm like, oh shit. I gotta say something now, right? So I pulled her, you know, for a conversation. I said, Mum, you found something in my room, and she looked at me. I sensed a form of a sense of disappointment. She said, yeah, I did. So now I'm thinking, shit, man, how am I gonna get out of this situation? I said, Mum, I need that back. She said to me, no, why? So now I'm thinking to myself, I gotta come up with a good reason to why I need this gun back. Yeah. Right? I can't say, oh, you just in case I need to shoot people. Exactly. Yeah, so I said to her, it's not mine, right? It's someone else's, and I can get in a lot of trouble for this. You know, I was doing it as a favor, a stupid favor, but I gotta return it back today. I need it back. So my mum gave me an option. She said, listen, you got to choose the gun or the house. So I chose the gun.
The gun, or to live in this house?
Yes. Okay. You take the gun and you leave, or I keep it and throw it away and you can stay in the house. Right. And at the time, to be honest with you, I was a bad influence towards my siblings. I'll come into the house smelling of weed, you know. She knows me to be doing things that ain't so legitimate. I'll come in the house high. I never eat with the house. I'll come in high, go straight upstairs. But so when she did kick me out of the house, when I chose the gun and left the house, I had to apply for accommodation through the council because I'm still under 18. I'm like approaching 16 to 17. So it falls upon the duty of the council to try and house me. So they have you in how what do you call it? Hostels and stuff like that, right? I'm still running around in the streets with my friends. So one day we got into a situation where a friend of mine who's now dead, he got into a situation where he had been beaten up by a group of boys.
Whereabouts?
This happened in Canning Town, beaten up by a group of boys. And coincidentally, it's as though it was meant to be. I was outside the house with one of my other friends when this friend of mine, who wasn't actually really friends with me, we just said hello and bye through someone else. He came to me And he had asked me, he said to me, listen, I've just been beaten up by a group of boys. I need you to help me, I want like a one-on-one type of situation with the boys. So I came there as a form of sense of like a security, just to ensure that no one else jumps in. But when we've got there, to these group of boys and we've confronted them, we ended up rushing the main corporate. So in this situation, the main corporate ended up getting stabbed, which, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't know about, right? But I had a dog with me because I love dogs, like I said earlier. The dog done whatever it done.
What dog? What type of dog?
I had a English Bull Terrier. Yes, naughty. It done what it done. And we left the vicinity.
How many lads were there that day? On your side and on their side?
On my side, there's probably about three. There was about 3 of us in total.
And them?
Probably about 6, 7 of them.
And then when you saw them, one of
they
you
froze.
rushed. They froze. Okay.
They froze.
Were they carrying?
Where we caught them in a vulnerable position.
Okay.
Where they weren't able to retaliate.
Okay.
And then
when you say caught them in a vulnerable position, what do you mean by that? In a certain area where they couldn't run or they couldn't.
We caught him in an area and we actually brazenly done this in the presence of cameras.
Yeah.
But we caught them in a very, very vulnerable situation. One of them ended up getting stabbed. There was blood everywhere, claret everywhere. I didn't think nothing of it, until I found out that the kid was related to like a drug baron's little brother. He was a drug baron, that was his little brother.
Yeah, okay, wow.
At the time I was still running around, we're still doing what you do at age of 16, 17. So from there, gloves were all off.
Yeah.
Because the kid had his forehead, blood coming from his forehead. He's been stabbed. The dog was lockjawing him or stamping him out, the whole thing. So I remember they shouted my name as we were leaving. I didn't think nothing of it. A couple of weeks had gone by. I don't think nothing of it. I'm into mopeds, buying mopeds. And I've heard something, rumors in the air, you're a wanted man.
Yeah.
So, you tend to take that with a pinch of salt, wanted for what? And, it actually came into fruition, the attempt was made on me brazenly, in front of a secondary school, broad daylight at lunchtime.
Did you know that there was a bounty on your head at that time?
Yeah, but I didn't know how much until I got older. Okay. I found out exactly how much was put.
How much was on your head at that moment?
£100,000. So I had £100,000 dead. Yeah.
To get rid of you.
To get rid of this, because obviously it's the passion. It may not be the caliber of the person.
Yeah.
But it's the violation that the person's took, because they don't really care the caliber of the person. They're like, listen, rub this kid out.
Yeah.
Whoever rubs this kid out, whether you get nicked or you get away with it, this is what's basically replace your life with this.
Yeah.
And I remember that precise day when I got stabbed, I was actually in the process of picking up drugs.
Hold on. That was the same day you got stabbed, or this is another day?
No, this is another time.
Another day you got stabbed?
Yeah. So my picture actually got taken. I don't know if you remember MySpace. Do you remember MySpace?
Yeah.
So in that process, even though I used to like doing extracurricular activity at the household or whatever, I used to, I love the music, so I thought I was going to be like a rapper, I'll try my luck in this. So in that process, you got to put your pictures out there and, MySpace. These guys went on MySpace, took my picture off MySpace. There he is, so you can't really be, that's when I think it actually dawned on me at 16, 17, you can't actually be a rapper and be doing the criminal activities that you claim to be rapping about, because if the police don't get you, the actual gangsters will get you, You got shows to attend to, they'll just come there and catch you, They printed my picture off MySpace and handed it around, from, kids that pedal bike to guys that ride bikes to guys that ride cars. If you see this kid walking around, make the call. And I went to go meet a dealer who used to sell big bits of drugs, and a kid saw me on a pedal bike, waiting for the dealer to pull up. So the call was made. In the process of the call being made, some of them boys that were there when we caught them, they were the first batch to turn up, And I remember looking at these boys and I'm thinking, I had you lot in a compromising position. That I'm not going to run from music. I didn't think there was more to come.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, motorbikes are pulled up, cars are pulled up. And that's when the initial beating started for me, you know. Bike helmets, you know, the chains that you used to lock your bike, stumped out, the whole shebang. My memory went blank. I don't remember anything. All I remember is being put on a stretcher. But in that process, I'm hearing there's a dude that came with like a hand samurai or whatever he had, sunk it into my stomach. So if you're unconscious or if you're asleep and someone slaps you or does something to you and you wake up out of your sleep, that was the initial stage that I underwent, you know. So he sunk it into my stomach a couple of times. I remember being put on a stretcher with blood coming out of my mouth. They cut your clothes off because they don't know where else you've been stabbed. Yeah. Broad daylight, I remember seeing some little Chinese kid looking at me like that little girl crying, dropped a box of chicken and chips that she had as I'm being put on a stretcher. Next thing I wake up, 2 weeks later, you know, with like, you know, you wake up with tubes in your throat, tubes running down your, you know, your private parts to help you go, you know, go to toilet and stuff like that. Jeez. And that's that one time I got caught. I got caught without it. Yeah. You know.
So that's one time you weren't carrying a gun.
That's that one time.
Is that a godsend? Is that a good thing you weren't carrying that day? Looking back now as an adult, looking back going, if I was carrying, I'd end up shooting loads of people.
Do you know what? Yes, but that all doesn't matter because when I as I got older, this is something that I've gone into.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of a godsend because I would have shot multiple people. And I probably won't even be sitting here because I would have probably just got, you know, either attempted murders or murder times 2, or, you know. So in that situation, that's what led, after I got out of hospital, because they gave me a zipper and it stapled all your guts inside. They put your guts inside and staple you back together. After I got out of hospital, that's when my life took the turn for the worst. Now I've gone into, you know, delved into guns even deeper, you know.
What was when you were in hospital, what was your attitude at the time? Well, your attitude, right, I'm going to go and get them, revenge, this space.
To be honest with you, I was in a process of trying to heal because I was thinking, shit, man, I need to get out of this position. Because I'm not going to lie, I was in such a vulnerable position that I've never really told anyone this. I was actually paranoid that they could come and finish the job while I was in hospital.
That's what I mean. That's just sitting there in your bed. There was no old Bill standing there waiting.
No. So I was just laying there.
Yeah.
I remember I used to press that, is that morphine?
Yeah.
I used to press that so much so that it stopped working.
Yeah.
You know, the pain normally, so when you get stabbed, the initial stabbing doesn't hurt because your adrenaline is rushing, you know, you feel like you're being punched. But the healing process, that's where the pain is.
Right.
You know, because it felt like my belly had coal inside it.
Yeah.
At night time when everyone's falling asleep, I'm rolling around in my bed. I remember pressing up the hospital bed and it sits you up. You know, just to try and help ease the pain. So you move around in all types of angles. I had to move around in a Zimmer frame, like an old person because it was stitched together.
How long did it take? How long were you walking around like this for in a really vulnerable position?
Probably about a month.
Right, okay.
Yeah. After I got out of the coma.
Yeah.
Because I was in a coma.
So you were in a coma?
Yeah, I was in a coma. I woke up 2 weeks later. Yeah, I woke up 2 weeks later. You know, that was a situation for me, and I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the times I felt vulnerable. If you start asking me any moments in your life you felt vulnerable, that was the moment in my life I felt vulnerable, you know, because I was in the position to defend myself. If anyone comes in, you know, all they got to do is just push me over.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was the movements you come out of there then? What was going through your mind when you came out of hospital? You said you took a turn for the worse. What happened there?
I started... you know, I started applying pressure on people. So as soon as I got out of hospital, I invested in another gun.
You said you were applying pressure on who?
I went into like robberies, shootings, and any type of trade. You know, so I was out for revenge, to be honest. But that didn't even really last long because the police were on me straight away because of the type of pressure I was applying. So, you know, I'm the type of guy that you find in your alleyway, dark at night. You know, I'll just pop out from the darkest part of the alleyway and, you know, I slide on you, you know. Yeah, that didn't last long because...
Is that where the nickname Ghost come from?
Yeah. My name. We'll get into that a bit more as it goes along. I thrive off of catching you by surprise. I'm not the type of guy that will see you in the high street and just jump out. No, I'm an opportunist. I take my time. I treat every opportunity like it's you got one time to do this. So I don't leave you with enough space to wiggle out of the situation,
Calculated.
Yeah, very, very. It's something that I've realized as I've gone on and I've done the huge amount of time that I've done in prison. I'm not an irrational, an erratic person.
Yeah.
I will
think.
Yes, I want you to know when I get you. I want you to know that listen, this is it. There is no, there's no going back. I'm not here to talk, and I've never really been the type of person that talks up. I walk up. And I put you in a bad position. I don't talk. I do what I do, and I just carry on walking like nothing's happened. The kind of mind frame that I developed is that it's already happened. Even when I used to do the robberies that I used to do, the armed robberies, in my head, as psychotic as it sounds, what I'm about to do right now has already took place.
Yeah.
Like that's how I get into that mind frame because I don't do drugs. I don't, I didn't, need drugs or anything like that to boost me up or my self-confidence. I was very confident, type of person. I would shake down a room of 30 people, me and another person. I just need someone else to carry.
What do you mean you shake down a room with 30 people?
Type of person that will have the whole party under siege, just me and another person. And I don't use the whole aggressive demeanor. I don't come in there shouting. I come in there very calm, so calm it's chilling. And my words are very clear. It's not, I'm not mixing them up. The whole situation is if I don't need to kick the door in, if the entry needs to be smooth, and when the entry is smooth, you're fucked. Sorry, I don't know if your entries, you're fucked because the neighbors ain't gonna hear you. By the time they hear something, you're fucked. I'm in here right now, and this is what's happening. Most of the times, people comply by that.
So you're what, 6'4", 18, 19 stone, 20 stone?
Yeah, I'm 6'4", 17 and a half
17 and a half stone. So you've always been a big lump growing up, or is this happening?
No, I was skinny. I was skinny. So when I started applying pressure at the age of 17, people started calling the police on me. This fucking maniac's got a gun and he's robbing the whole community and he's doing this and that. So I remember once, the second time I actually got in, not second time, I don't even know what time this is, but it's like down the line. I got into a situation with some kids in college where some kids rushed me in college. That was a wrong mistake, so what I did, at the time I wasn't driving, I got on a bus from the college that I was at, went home and got my gun and come back into the college.
So you got rushed, you went home on a bus, come back, got a gun and went back into the college to find them?
Yes, and I did find them. But the crazy thing is, I got rushed in front of a bird. That makes everything tenfold worse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I get beat up in front of my mates, someone can console you. But when you get beat up in front of a bird, you're thinking, well, like if anything happens to you in front of your missus, you're thinking, listen, I gotta fucking get on this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not the same as getting beat up in front of your pal. Like, this is normal. Guys witness this, but women are so dramatic that they'll take a minute little situation and just
magnify.
Yeah, and then on top of that as well, man, you got beat up by some boys down the road. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Your pride kicks into play. I remember getting on the bus, and when I got my shotgun, come back to the college, and I see one of the boys that was part of the group that jumped me, and I caught him in an estate. I chased him down in the estate. He was a bit quick, so I knew I wasn't going to catch him. And what I wasn't going to do is shoot him right outside the college. So I whacked him with the gun, like it was a baseball bat, and clamped him over the head. And blood started pouring out of him. He started screaming, got up off his feet, ran straight into the college entrance. And he told the security, he's got a gun, so I see him grasping me up. I'm thinking, mate, where was that energy half an hour, 20 minutes, 45 minutes ago? You and your pals are applying pressure on me. I've come back by myself, you're not with your pals, now you're grasping me. So I stashed the shotgun, went into class. I remember I used to do art and design in this college. As I'm sat in the class, remember the story I told you about when the professor, this time it's the lecturer, gets called out. He comes in, I'm sat in the class, I'm carrying a big art folder like nothing's happened. All of a sudden, armed police rush the classroom. Armed police! You know how they come in? They come in with that shock factor. They should try and stop you from... I feel sorry for the students that were in there, you know, the little hippie art, you know, kids that do art. They shit themselves, man. I guarantee they were never going to forget anything like that. Armed police come in, throw me over the table, they zip tie me, right? Drag me out of your class, take me to a holding room. They're like, you know, where's the gun? I'm looking at them thinking, shit. I was like, what gun? But I already anticipated something like this happening. What I didn't want to do is whack the kid, leave the vicinity, leave the window of opportunity for police to come to my house. So it's a situation, if you're going to deal with it, even though college is a bad place, let's deal with it now, you know? So they've asked me, where's the gun? I said, what gun? They said, the gun that you assaulted Mr. So-and-so with. I said, I didn't have no gun, right? They said, what was it? I said, first and foremost, I didn't assault him. I went to hit him, right? They said, what did you have? I said, I had a scaffolding pole. That's what he saw, right? And he tripped up, and cracked his head in the process of trying to run away from me, right? So the police actually bought that story. They bought the story. They actually went nuts on the kid that had them called, because, you know, calling in special units costs money. You know, every time they come in, they want to make sure that they've got something there. So they let me go. You know, nothing happened. They couldn't prove anything. It's his word against mine. They're even more pissed that they've been called in and nothing's occurred. I thought I was smooth. I thought I was calm. I moved into a flat, right? 3 months later, I thought I was in the clear. So like I said, I have my gun with me all the time. I'm sleeping with it on the windowsill in my flat. I had scaffolding around the flat. I remember, right, I got a plastic door. Right, I've seen these SWAT. I've seen the big red key. You know when they come into your drug dealers' houses and they do the big red key? I've seen that the wooden doors pave in so quick, but it's the thick plastic doors that throw the shock back to the key. So it gives you time. It gives me time to flash the coke, get rid of the weed, dash the gun out, you know, if the D come in. So I got the flat, because remember I told you I went through the whole hostel process, so I ended up getting a flat by the council. So they've come. I'm asleep. As I've come, sorry, let me rewind it back. I'm at my mum's house because I managed to send my mum abroad. This is the second time they've come from the college. I'm at my mum's house. I'm asleep, right? So we live in the houses are all attached, right? They're not semi-detached or whatever. They would have to jump over 6 gardens to get to my mum's house. At that time, I got the shotgun in the back garden, in the fence, neighboring, just about edging into the next to the neighbor's fence, right? So I have the coke, I have the weed, you know, I got the shotgun stored. Next thing, I hear a helicopter above the roof of the house. So upon hearing that, I wake up, I'm thinking, what the hell? I remember I was in my boxes. So the helicopter's covering the back of the house. I'm gonna have 6 armed officers jumping over the fences. And they're at the front. They've opened the door. I'll come running down the stairs in my boxes, frantic. The door flies open. Oh, police! I'm in my boxes. I'm thinking, shit. Luckily, I'd sent my mum abroad. At this age, I was 17, remember? From weed. So I've had money. I've sent my mum abroad. I said, I'm sorry, mum. So I've occupied her house. And the drug line that I had was in that locality because that's where I'm from, right? Police have paved in the door. Caught me at the bottom of the stairs in my boxes. I don't know where I was running, right? But I was screaming 6 different instructions. Hands behind your head. So I'm thinking to myself, shit, man, this is bad. My older sister was in the house at the time. I got laser beams on my chest. And
shotguns on you?
No, they come MP5. I got laser beams on me. Like, stay still. So I'm like this. Sorry, I'm like this. They got shields. You can't even see who it is. They got black masks on. So I get on my knees, hands behind my head. So they come into the house, they chop me into the back of the car. I'm in the back of the car. I remember seeing, I'm in my boxes and I got foil around me, right? I remember seeing my sister coming out, walking past the car, looking at me. They're civilians. They're, you know, taxpayers. They abide by the law.
Did your sister know what was going on Does she know what you're up to?
No. My sister, me and my
okay.
sister never really used to connect like that. We just used to say hi and bye,
Yeah.
even though we lived under the same roof. Yeah. She's looked at me as she's walking. I'll never forget that look as she's walking past the car. I'm thinking, shit, at that time, I'm more scared of her than what the police... And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I hope the police take me away because I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with this situation. Yeah. So they've gone in the house. I'm thinking, I'm gone, mate. I'm going to jail. They searched the house, gone into the back garden, ripped it apart. They've let me go. They didn't find the gun, the drugs, nothing. They didn't arrest me. So I'm thinking, what's happening? Come back after they've left, searched the back of the garden. I found my shotgun there in the bag that I used to carry it in. I found my drugs, a couple of ounces of coke that I had. I'm thinking, mate, what's happening? How come they didn't find it? Happy days. Eventually, my mum's come back. Fast forward, moved into this flat.
Your flat, yeah.
Yes, into the flat.
Yeah.
I'm asleep. Right, I hear, poof. Remember this scaffolding around the flat? I hear, oh, police! Again, I'm like, oh my gosh. Get out this time. Now I'm thinking, because the shotgun's by the windowsill next to my bed, I open the balcony door, throw the shotgun out. The shotgun hits who? Hits the armed officer who had a Glock with a torch pointing at me. He disappeared off the scaffolding. I'm thinking, shit. I can't go no guilty. I'm as guilty as can be. I can't go, oh yeah, I wasn't me. But the guy just disappeared. At that time, I swear to God, I thought they were going to shoot me. Right? Because you flare your arms around. You could just put something in you. At the time, I'm like 17, I'm approaching 18. So he disappeared off the scaffolding. They've jumped off the scaffolding, weighed me in because they got masks on. They're all just the same. You can't see anything. Zip tie me, whack, take me into my front living room. Pitch black, whack. Oh, blood leaking out of me. Dash me into the back of the car. I'm in the back of the car, man. It's the first time I went to jail. But they were reluctant. They definitely had an informant that was telling them, listen, he's still got it. And they came through and eventually they got it. That was the first time I went to prison for...
And how long did you get?
I got 3 years.
For? Possession
of a prohibited weapon. 3 years. Obviously, I spun the whole I'm a victim type of story, I was forced to hold it. As long as you got guilty, the feds don't need to turn up and give a statement against you. There's no trial. Yep. Now you got to give mitigating circumstances to why you've got the gun to begin with. Yep. So I say, Your Honor, you write a letter to the judge, hoping that he buys it. I didn't mean it. And at the precise moment of time as you're going through trial, you like to convince yourself that, if I get out of this, I'm not going to do this no more. Only when it got worse. Because now that I'm in prison, it's like a supermax school where all the young boys are ranging from murder, attempted murder, arson, possession of firearm, shootings, all that type of stuff. And at that time when I got my first taste of prison, I was like, do you know what? This is actually not bad,
What prison was it?
I was I started off in Chelmsford, and then I went to Feltham. That was actually a bad experience because I experienced bullying going on, and it wasn't a bad experience for me, but it was a bad experience for those around me, and me having to witness it because I'm a person, I can't stand injustice. I see any type of injustice, I have to step up and say something. But the type of bullying that was happening in the prison at that time.
Give me an example. What sort of bullying was going on?
So everyone would get together, and they'll call someone at the window, and the person at the calling at the window is mentally unstable. And they will encourage the person to commit suicide. And you have about 10, 15 people banging on the window with the same rhythm. Doof, 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 and you hear them going, kill yourself. And the guy underneath, his mental health is so unstable. He's on like an ACT. It's called like ACT is called a prevention for suicide type of thing. There'll be beatings that regularly happen in the shower, where someone regularly gets beaten up. And me as a man, obviously I was a young boy at the time, but having to witness that chips away at me, and I'm thinking, I don't really know why he's getting beaten up, but I know this ain't right. Do you know what I mean? But there was a lot of bad bullying that used to occur in there.
So you got 3 years there. What'd you do?
Do
year
18
and a half?
months. Yeah, do 18
year and a
months.
half. When you come out,
I went Rochester after that.
Okay.
Yeah, HMP Rochester.
So you did your 18 months? You came out. Were you thinking, right, I'm going clean now? Or were you thinking, what, I'm going...
I was like, I need to make some money. I did, from there, a full-fledged robber. I haven't
What sort of robberies?
Done politicians.
Hold on.
Yeah. Armed robberies.
Armed robberies?
Guns, yeah.
With politicians?
I done politicians.
Give me an example.
I'm not going to say the politicians.
No, but what did you do to a politician?
We went inside his house. And I think he had a lot of money in his house. So believe it or not, even though, you know, we're like the poster boys of, you know, criminality, but the actual real criminals, a lot of these politicians, man, they just have suits on.
Yeah, that's right.
They're dressed appealingly to the, you know, they actually are the real politicians. So there was a politician, and he had a mate of his that had a fallout over, you know. So upon them having a fallout, we got the call, you know, hey, listen, this guy has got so and so amount of money in the house. I'll give you one of the safes. You go in there with this information, you act upon that information as though you know where the rest of the, you know where this safe is. You get him to open the safe. Obviously, you know, if someone's got a huge amount of money in the house, they're not going to store 3 million in one place. They're going to store bits. They're going to have inbuilt safes within the, you know, the premises, and they're going to store, you know, 200 grand in one safe. So if armed robbers ever do come through, because what they're doing is not right, you're in that field despite the fact that you got a suit, you know, and you got expensive cars. If someone ever does come through because someone within your circle set you up, you just point out 200 grand, you know, the robbers will take that and that'll be enough. But anyone with common sense, especially if you've been given this inside information,
we'll be looking for more.
You should be looking for more because, you know, right, that's one safe. We know there's at least 3 million in here. So we done a politician that had a very, very expensive, massive home, you know.
Whereabouts? Whereabouts in London?
I can't say. It wasn't even in London.
It wasn't?
No, it wasn't even, it was outside London.
Whereabouts?
It was more outside, more towards, you know, like Essex-y type. Essex, so the houses are huge.
Yeah.
He was corrupt as can be, man. They all are. You know,
did that make you feel better for doing it, knowing that they're corrupt politicians going, you know what, I'm doing a job here, but I know he's corrupt anyway?
Of course, because as I got out, I couldn't be bothered to hustle anymore. I'm not selling drugs no more. I was like, screw that. It's too much information. There's too much energy put into that. You know, you got to make sure this is...
Too many moving parts everywhere,
so
isn't there?
now we're confiscating cash. And the thing is with me, I was never too shy to shoot people during robberies. You know, I was always one of those guys, if I do come, I come in very politely, you know, I expect, you know, I've caught you. You know, when someone's caught you,
hands up.
You can't, listen, I'm not here to, and most of the times it's your closest friend that this information's come from. You know, I won't let you know that, you know, but I've come for A, B, and C. If you try to put up a resistance, I'm going to, you know, retaliate with, force, which is going to be sometime, you know, it's going to be over the top. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the cash. And in those robberies, there's been 1 or 2 people or 3 people that have actually tried to put up a fight, and stuff's got left in that process. So we've done politicians. We used to do drug dealers.
Taxing drug dealers, or just going knowing they got big loads of...
Confiscating. So with drug dealers, the common mistake that they make is that once they start making a lot of money, they start talking down to people that work with them, or they start to shortcut. You know, if you and me are both dealing and we're in this 50-50, all of a sudden now, I'm turning around because I've got the connect and you got the distribution. You know, I turn around, I'm saying to you, listen, I think it's, you know, the price has gone up, and you find out I'm lying. You know, so it goes from 50-50 and it's 70-30 or 60-40. You're not happy with that? You give me a call. You know, I always had phones that would take, you know, calls, you know, drug dealers. So they'll call me and they'll say, listen, 50-50. And the thing is with me and my boys who were doing that, were never part of a gang. We were just opportunists, you know. We've never ever been part of a gang. We're just opportunists that will take up whatever makes sense. We'll be there, we'll clean up, you know, if it's, you know, if we have to turn up and confiscate, if we have to do someone, if we, whatever it is, if it makes sense, we've got a man for that.
Would you normally take a price up front, or would you go, right, if you go and get 300 grand out of a politician's house, you take your ton 50 and we'll take your ton 50, or would you say, no, I want X amount up front?
Oh no, do you know what, that 300 grand out of the politician's house, that would be, most of the time, would be spite. You know, because the person that's put us on it doesn't even want the money. He just wants that person to experience, suffer. So that would always be, it's not always, it's most of the times, depending on what we've taken out, he'll be like, you know, he just wants to hear the story from his pal the next day. What happened? His fuckers come through and fucking, oh, he's fucking done this. And he's he's this, So
was there any nerves from you going into doing any of these jobs?
No, because I convinced myself before I came in to confiscate what I'm confiscating, that it's mine.
Yeah.
What's in there is mine. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Even if a passerby walk past, I'm not doing anything wrong. What I'm taking back already belongs to me. So I've lent it to someone, they're not giving it back to me.
Yeah.
So that's the type of mentality that me and my friends had.
Yeah.
So
you would have all this set up in your mind. If the old Bill come or someone come, you got all the story straight away.
Yeah, the old Bill will never catch us there.
Yeah.
In and out. Remember, I've done hence that's the whole point of doing the homework.
Yeah.
Knowing what time you finish work. There's been times, you stick a tracker on someone's car or you follow them back. I watch you finishing work. I know what time you leave work, what time you finish work, what car you drive, what car your wife drives, where your kids go to school. All of that will take time because I'm trying to
build a picture.
Know who I'm robbing. You always got to know who you're robbing because you got to expect retaliation, right?
Yeah.
At some point, even if it's a civilian, someone that pays the tax, he's gonna have a relative that finds out about this and they're not gonna be happy. So you got to know how far am I gonna push this if there's blowback on this, And what I tend to do, with like drug dealers, because I had coke links. We had Vietnamese that used to grow cannabis.
Yeah.
We had people that used to do money laundering, all types of stuff. So my phone, just like our dealer's phone would ring off, not just me and my boys, our phones will always ring off. So we always have jobs, hey, 100 grand, hey, 90, hey, 150, 140, loan sharks. We always do loan sharks.
Yeah.
So how I used to do, or what I used to do is, if I do a big drug dealer, and this come from his right-hand man, I would make sure that when we do come through the vicinity, we put it on the drug, and the right-hand man will always say, listen, give him a couple of fucking right hooks, left hooks, bust his nose.
Yeah.
Obviously I got to pop his nose as well, because we're both in there, and we've got to pretend we're searching, but we know exactly where it is, because we always get a text.
Yeah.
In here, right now, 200K, 150K, 180K, address, right now, I'm in here. That's how we function.
So then you'd operate straight away,
because we always had cars plated up within the area. We always had guns are stashed up in the area. We have cars with plates. So what we do is get cars, get plates, clone them, make sure that the plates are... the plates are matching to a car that's legal.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get text, I'll always be with the boys.
Yeah.
Run it by them. We're flying through there, so we come through. So while I was in prison, what I saw was there was a program called SWAT. I don't know if you're aware of the program was SWAT. They clear doors with sledgehammers. Yeah, sledgehammer. So it depends on the forced entry, especially if we've got knowledge. We'll come through there, pretend, where is it? Where's this? Pretend you're searching the cupboards, but we know exactly where it is and we'll find it. We're in there 2 minutes max. We find the stash.
To protect the fella who's giving you the heads up.
Yeah, but the guy that's giving us the heads up will be in there.
Yeah, but still protecting him.
Of course,
pretending where you're looking.
Yeah, of course you got to cover him.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll beat up the guy, duct tape him, beat up the other guy, just pop his lip or whatever. Take 250, take quarter mil cash, split.
Wow.
But now what would happen is if the guy that was robbed finds out that it was us, right? It falls upon the guy that put us on in the first place to make sure that there's no retaliation. You got to talk him out of retaliating.
Yeah.
If the guy comes to you and he goes, Dodge, listen, the guys that come into the house, or Adam, his main name's Adam, and you got to go, oh shit, I've done some research on these guys.
Yeah. Leave them
we
alone.
got to charge it. So the game is where it is, the quarters. We got to leave it alone.
Yeah.
If you fail on doing that, you're liable to get shot. Because then I don't know if you've stabbed me in the back. So as a retaliation, if you fail doing that, and I'll let it be known, if you do fail doing that, I'm going to shoot you and your friend. So the responsibility falls upon you to make sure there is no retaliation.
Wow. And what age were you roughly here when you come out and started getting into this game? How old are you today?
I'm 33 now.
33. What age were you when you come out of Nick that first time? You go, right, this is the game that I'm getting into.
18.
18. So after your 18 months in Nick, you've come out.
Yeah, I come out 18.
What made you set upon this route? Just a quicker, easier route?
Quick cash. Okay. I got out, I remember, made the first 10 months, made $250,000. So I was like, yo, what have I been doing? Just, drug dealing and, wasting my time, 20 minutes, I'm up, 80 grand up. Come into a place, 80 grand comes, I got 80 grand. We always used to do it in groups of threes anyway. So I'll be carrying a gun. We get the guy that clears the door, and we have the guy with the rat sack.
Yeah.
You know, no more than 3 people. You know, actually, leading up to me going to prison, because I went away to prison, I got you know, put away for 20 years.
So how long were you out for? How long were you operating for before you got nicked again?
I was operating for a good 2-3 years.
2-3 years.
Every day.
At it every day.
Every day. Every day. We had a list of addresses. Whoever puts me on something, because what we used to do is not just robberies. We used to have meetings. So we had meetings, envelopes get passed in a meeting. An envelope gets passed, pictures, addresses, with a price. You know, I'm sure you know what that means.
Yeah.
So we get addresses. You know, if I'm not taking it, I'll round up me and a few of my friends, you know, within the circles, and I'll offer that. Whoever wants to take it, they can take it.
Would you want your split from it? If you're offering it, we'll go 50-50.
No.
Or would you go, right, there's 3 lads on it, go thirds?
No, it will always be one. If it's a hit, it's one person.
One person, okay.
It's one person. We don't need 3 people.
Yeah.
You know, you do it how you want to do it. Just ensure that it's done, because some of the hits that will come, they'll come from the guys that are giving out their people.
Yeah.
You know, so they'll be like, I need a favor. Most of the times, some of the people, we knew who to charge and who not to charge. So if you pass me an envelope, I'll take out the piece of paper with a number in it. So the cash that you're offering, I'll give you back that piece of paper. And they'll ask me why. I say, it's for a favor. You owe me a favor, no matter what it is, when it is, I need you to act upon that. And they'll be like, oh, okay. You know, because we're friends.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah.
So this one's on me, don't worry. But the day that I need you to act upon that. You need to come through no matter what the situation is.
How many of your pals were there in a group where you could 100% trust
3.
every single one of them?
3.
So you plus 3?
Me plus 3, yeah.
And you could trust them with your life?
2, 100%.
Okay.
The other one, do you know what, to be honest with you,
why the other one? Yeah.
The other one, because I got into a habit of, obviously I'm not, by the way, this is not me glorifying violence, or, you know, because I'm on a path of change or whatever.
Yeah.
I got into a habit of shooting people, right? So every time I used to take this guy with me, right, I always used to go into a robbery and it went wrong and I ended up pinging someone, I would see his facial reactions would change.
Yeah.
And I could see that he's not cut out for this. Yeah. So much so that every time I would come around him and we're just chilling, he was wary of me. Yeah. And for me, that has my backup. Yeah. Because I'm thinking, listen, despite whatever you see me doing, we're in this together, we're friends. All right, cool, you know, if I get caught, I'll never roll you under the table. All right, we're in this together. You know, as we're both getting nicked, hey, you know, you got I'll put like, if I get nicked, hey, listen.
Do you reckon your man had fear that you were going over the top, or you were pinging people going, you know what, Adam's going over the top here. Yeah. Did he have the fear going, I need to get out of this? Because actually when you're in a gang or you're around gangsters, you're in the shadows, it's hard to get out. Yeah. Do you think he found it hard to get out?
Yeah. He was way, you know, above his depth. I think he wanted to make money, but he wasn't looking to go to the lengths that we were looking to do. Yeah. I remember one time I got into a situation where someone ended up getting it very bad. And
when you say very bad, what's very bad for you?
I was in a situation where someone got. I'll give you an example. I was in a situation where I shot someone in the neck with a shotgun.
In the neck?
In the neck with the shotgun. So I done time for that. The reason why I'm saying it now is because I done time for that. I'm not
going to put information
out. I done the 20 practically. But his face, all blood rushed to his face, and he looked at me as though I was a monster, despite the fact that we've grown up together as kids. And that's when I knew, you know, our relationship's changing, the dynamics have changed in this relationship. You know, and his behavior towards me started to change. Yeah. So for me, my behavior towards him, I was a bit
wary.
Wary, because everyone else, if I do things like that, some of them were sick enough that when I come across, I want to watch. You know, you know what I mean. Yeah. So he's.
Do you think he was in his right mind to be a bit wary? Did you think you were pushing boundaries, pushing levels the whole time?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I'm not gonna lie. Every day I woke up. So, you know, someone's day's ruined. You know, as soon as my eyes opened, even I knew it. I was like, oh gosh, someone's life's just finished. You know, someone's day's ruined. We had addresses. You know, we'll get together. And when we get together, you know, all of us, you know, that were together, even though it was a small group of us, and only up until I went to prison, no one used to know that it was us that used to do these things.
Really?
No one.
Did you balaclava up every time?
No.
No.
Reason be, I'm 6'4", 17 stone.
Yeah.
If I come walking on, you know, it's already bad enough having a hoodie up with a belly up, because I prefer to walk upon people. I'm not one of the people that jump out. You know, I'll walk up on you and I'll press myself on you. But with the gun, it jammed in your ribs. I don't want you running off, you know. I catch you in your, heading into your house with your car keys, your house keys in there. If you turn around and you see a guy with a belly entering your gate, you're going to get in there and shut the door. You know, so, you know, we had different methods of...
Calm and calculated.
Very. Too cool that it's menacing. You wouldn't expect it. You know, we'll come dressed up as, you know, delivery drivers or surveyors or...
Is that what you dress up in?
Yeah, of course we'll dress up. I was on an operation, it was £1 million operation in Holland, where we dressed up like police. We had the whole police car thing. We had this, you know, the jammer on top. We had the security that will get kidnapped, put in the back. Big operation. So we like dressing up, you know. The dressing up thing is blends in, you know. So
what was that then? What was the operation in Holland?
So
we asked to go and do a job in Holland.
Yes, my reputation started to get up. Wow. So the older boys from Random Manor, you know, the Cockney geezers, they're like, oh, you know, you always have friends your age, and they go back to their dads that are in that type of lifestyle. Says, Dad, there's this up and coming guy, you know, solid guy. We need to get him on a job. This situation, I got flown in to do an operation in Holland. I was the youngest there by 30 years.
What age?
I was 20.
20.
Youngest there by 30. Well, the next youngest one was 50.
Yeah.
You know, there was ex-UFC fighters flown in. There was lorry drivers, specific jobs. You know, there was people, you know, dressed up as police, you know, because what it was a big lorry, right? They used to carry around big computer chips.
Yeah.
You know, computer chips. So each box would go for like 25 to 30K, because these are not talking about small computers, I'm talking about big computers. The plan was, we had a snatch van. We had 2 cars. One of it would be like, the cars would be the feds, you know, when you put the light on top. They have to pull the security, because the big lorries, when they come over the port, they'll have security following them. And we've got a snatch van that will block the one way, because we knew the route that they were going to take. The snatch van will block the one-way entry, stop the lorry from going forward. My job and someone else's job, the lorry driver, is to literally intercept the lorry before the lorry driver snaps the key in there. Because if he snaps the key in there, we can't then move the lorry to a safe place and unpack
the gear out,
the gear out and put it in a snatch van. So the plan's to get in there, T-hammer the window, open the lorry, drag the lorry driver out. The lorry driver's gang in the back of the lorry, zip tied up.
Yeah.
I got a jammer to stop the satellite, because some of these lorries have...
What's a jammer?
A jammer stops signal getting sent to the satellite. Some of these lorries have got a tracker. Yeah. So wherever the lorry goes...
So you can block that?
Yeah, you can block it with a jammer. Yeah, we used to do that for fun. You know, you have this jammer on you, you switch it on, it cuts off the whole road. You know, the whole road, anyone that's trying to use the phone, they can't use the phone because there's something interfering with the signal. So we take the lorry to a safe place. The fake police will have to pull the security. They pull the security, zip tie the security, put him in the back of the car. We park off the security car, take the lorry, unpack the lorry, put the stuff in the snatch van, drive the snatch van with hundreds and thousands of pounds or £1 million minimum of gear in the back of the snatch van. Put the security that we've kidnapped with the fake police, they come to the meeting spot, dash them in the back of the lorry, dash the lorry driver in the back of the lorry, tie up the lorry, lock up the lorry, leave him there to be found. Because as soon as we leave with the jammer, and we get far enough, the lorry will stay stationary, and the lorry people will somehow find it, and that's how they'll rescue the people in the back of the lorry. So
when you were going on to that gig there, onto that operation, did you know the other fellas, or you were brought in to go do a job? This is your job. Then we all leave each other off skis.
We never see each other again.
Okay.
So it was a meeting. So the guy that
how'd you get paid up then?
So how we get paid is that when I get back, the guy that's put us on, right, he will value, obviously.
Yeah, what's in the lorry.
We'll give him a week.
Yeah.
Right. He values what's in the lorry, to do the estimations of how much his gear's getting sold. And then he would have what? He would have a buyer already set up. Because before we go into jobs, you got to know where it's getting distributed to. And after that, we all get calls. He's got people in London, Liverpool, wherever. We get met with a duffel bag full of cash, and we go about our own way. Because he doesn't come back in here. He gets the value, he sells it, the money gets sent to him. He's already got people in the UK.
How do you know he's telling you the truth? When you come back after your operation, you're going, right, I'm getting weighed in here. Where's the bag? Who am I meeting? Hurry up, I want my money because I've done a job.
Do you know what? The people that's put me on there they're trustable people.
Okay.
They're trustable.
So they'll say to you, for a job like that, they'll say, well, I'm guaranteeing you 100 Gs.
Yeah, 100. Guaranteed.
Yeah, okay.
Guaranteed. You know, because they knew the actual going price.
Yeah.
They'll probably short change us a little bit. But, you know, I'm young. You know, I'll take that. Given. Plus, not just that as well. My reputation preceded me as well. So, you know...
What did you enjoy more at this time? Earning a pound note like this, or the reputation getting stronger and stronger in the criminal underworld?
To be honest with you, earning the pound note comes with your reputation. You know, but the thing is with me and my affiliates, we're stand-up guys. You know, we will stand-up guys. If we go to do a job and we promise you it's 50-50, you're gonna get your split. No if, buts, and maybe. Because I see you as an insurance policy. If we deal with you correctly, there's always gonna be things to come around. Not about severing ties. As soon as we take 200 grand, 300 grand, you never hear from us again. And you're like, listen, where's my money? No, you don't work like that. We would always come straight and come correct and to ensure that the business keeps flowing. You know, same thing, you know, the Albos, Albanians, they'll give each other up, man. The Vietnamese people that we're working with, they used to grow cannabis factories. They'll give each other up. The captains will give up, you know, because obviously once the drugs are sold, the money gets given to the captains. The captains have to give it to their loan sharks. There's always be like a boss, who sends the money back in Vietnam. And there's like a major boss back in Vietnam. So the captains, after the drugs are sold, if we don't hit the factories, and he goes and drops the money off to a safe house, he'll always give us a safe house. And he'll say, I'm in the safe house, you know, 180 in the safe house now, you know, 4 kids, now 4 sons, woman, 180, I'm there now, you know.
And you'll be there in a shot.
We'll be there, rapid. I say, you man, 200 grand, 100 grand, 180, 80 grand, who wants that? You know, and we'll just fly through there.
So this went on for what, 2 years when you first came out?
Every day.
Every day for 2 years?
Every day.
When did it come to an end?
It came to an end.
How old were you?
When I was touching 21, actually went on for about 3 years, to be honest with you. Yeah, every day. So when it came to an end, it was a night where we went to do a drug dealer. As we went to go and do a drug dealer, I went and picked up some boys from an area. So what I used to do is that I used to rotate characters. You know, because I like to make sure that everyone gets a little, you know, some money from me. Now, with jealousy comes people snitching. You know, this guy in that area that just robs people and has guns. So I always rotate people. So I don't work with the same amount of boys. So I've graduated to a level where I don't have to do the messy work myself. But I'm kind of sadistic because I'll come along and watch. You know, if someone's getting it. I like to be the guy that sits in the room and pretends I don't know what's going on, but I know approximately in 5 minutes, 3 people are going to get shot. This guy, that guy, and that guy. You know, and just come along and just play dummy.
How many people do you reckon you shot?
I can't say. Because obviously there's cases that ain't, you know what I'm saying, that ain't... I don't really want to egg the feds on, but the police had me on 24 charges by the time they got me.
24?
24 charges. I got a totality of 59 years in prison. Totality for, you know, I had a shooting where a guy got shot out of a house window. He was on a little thing. He was trying to deter these guys from coming inside the house, and he got shot with a shotgun and he fell out of a window, and he had blood coming out of his ears and his mouth and his nose. I was in a case where a guy got shot in the back, you know, and in this case here, I was in a case where a guy got shot in the neck with a shotgun as well. But only one of the case charges stuck. So, you know.
So you had 24 cases on you?
24 cases.
And what age were you there when they pulled it on you?
Oh man, they just kept on piling up. I was in Belmarsh. I was just fighting a simple possession charge because, like I said, the night that led to me getting arrested, we'd done a house, right? I can say it now, I didn't find guilty. We'd done a house. I didn't do the house though. I took the guys to do the house, and like a sick man, I posted up around the corner to watch them do it. Because of how they were functioning, they knew sign language. Robbers that talk in sign language, so you don't hear dodge.
Yeah.
Or D, grab the bag. You know what I'm saying? The guy's name was Dodge.
Yeah.
So they use hand gestures, and they literally clear the door, went in there with guns, but they had hit the wrong house. The house that they were looking for was next door, and it's my fault really because I knew they were drunk the day that I picked them up, but I was so greedy. I take full responsibility. I still took them because I wanted to take the chance of getting it. I wanted those drugs. I wanted that money today. So they hit the wrong house, but because I was impressed by the hand gestures and I was mesmerized, after I took them away from the scene, I got a call. A friend of mine rang me, says his name was Tony from China. His name wasn't Tony. Yeah. His name was Tony. He said to me, 180 grand now. Loan shark, woman, 4 sons, just like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Address, because he slips up into the toilet to use the toilet. Messaged me through his burner phone, straight onto my burner phone. I said to these guys, listen, there's an opportunity. You lot fucked up this opportunity. There's another one right now. We're going to South London. As we're driving into South London, my fault again. Right? I shouldn't have been in that car to begin with. But because they were tipsy and they've messed up the first robbery, I wanted to make sure that I don't give them the keys to drive there and they don't get there because they're drunk or they're tipsy and they mess everything up.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm coming along, right? So I'm driving. I do a dodgy U-turn. Who's sat by the traffic lights? Armed coppers, city police. And city police have either tasers or guns in them patrolling that 2-mile radius that they work within. They're like, hey, what's this? Right? They start following us. The car I had plated. It was a clone of a car, but the mistake that I had made is that it was a plate of a car that was in what's the car? When they sell cars. What's that called? Like a compound.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was it was a car sales dealership. Yeah. It was insured because I went and asked me. You go and ask me to find out if it's insured, and you go on. And I got the plates printed off. But it was insured, but it didn't have a registered owner. So now the police want to pull me. They were in the X5. They want to pull me and find out who's driving this car because it hasn't got a registered owner, even though it's insured. So I take a chase in central London, more towards South London. That's South. Is it South Key or Surrey Keys?
Yeah, Surrey Key. Yeah.
Yes.
When you say take a chase, you like right foot down, come and get me.
Yeah. I always take chases.
Really?
Always. We took 2-hour police chases and everything.
Yeah.
Always take chases, but this time the disadvantage because the roads are cut off. You can't take a chase in London Bridge.
Yeah.
Near Trafalgar Square, near all those roads is that zigzaggy type. We crashed the car. As we've crashed the car, we've jumped out. Tourists taking pictures because they see police like so now they're gathering up evidence to give to the coppers.
Oh no!
So we've took a chase. As we took a chase, we ended up by the pier. So I remember I jumped out the car. I said, "Don't follow me!" As soon as the police comes on tops, every man for themselves. Remember, everyone's trying to get away. I don't know you. You don't know me. Yeah. Don't follow me. The 2 guys are stuck by me. They're following me. Oh, why are you following me? But running. I don't know where I'm going. End up by the pier. As I end up by the pier, I can't swim. I'm looking at them. They're looking at me. I'm thinking, fucking idiots. So follow you. You're all the reasons why the fucking coppers are on me. I see the coppers coming. I've looked at them. I said, jump. They've looked at me like that. They said, you jump. I said, jump. One of them so close, he sat by the pier. He's looking at the police coming. I've looked at the water. It's brown, it's mucky.
Yeah.
Right, mate, I'm thinking, I'm still on a license for my first gun charge that I'd done when I was 18, right? I'm just about to come off license. I'm like, jump. They're like, no, you jump. If they jumped and floated, I would have jumped in, right? Because no one took the dive. I didn't take the dive. Police have come, they've nicked us. So when they've nicked us, one of the guys, remember I told you about the friend?
Yeah.
That always was flush-faced?
Yeah.
My mistake was taking him along, right? His responsibility was to leave with the gun. And we all play roles.
Yeah.
Right, remember you're as strong as your weakest link. If someone flops, we all flop.
Yeah.
He left the gun in the car looking after himself, shot off. The police never picked up on him. They've scooped us. Right? They've traced the gun back to robberies, shootings. As I'm in prison, now I'm on my second gun charges have started piling up, man. Police.
So when you were in Nick, the charges were coming up?
Yeah, I was in Belmarsh. The police have come in. So now they've arrested me, right? I'm in Belmarsh. The police have come in. So I'm thinking, they said, there's someone that needs to see you. So I don't like I said, I don't like wondering who it is and what it is. So I turn up to the reception, they take me out. One thing that I did learn is that the police cannot charge you or tell you what they're there for while you're on prison ground, because they don't have jurisdiction within the prison ground. For crimes that are committed outside, they have to take you outside. Yeah. Take me to Plumstead Police Station. The first charge popped up. They said, Mr. Muganzi. I said, yeah, what's up? This is on the 20-something of October. You entered a man's home in the process of robbing him, and you shot the man in the throat. We believe it was you that shot a man in the throat with a shotgun. I'm thinking, oh shit. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh. I said, okay, carry on. Right, so they're revealing this information. Yeah. And then they asked me for permission for our ID parade. So I gave them permission for our ID parade. And I didn't think nothing was going to come of it, man. I ended up getting bail. Furthermore, one of my parties at that time, sorry, I don't mean to take up too much time. One of the people that I used to have it with, two of my affiliates, one of them ended up coming into prison. One of them came into prison for possession of 3 firearms. So the police swarmed his house. Yeah. He threw the guns out, whatever. So now I'm thinking, shit, as I'm in prison, facing these charges, he walks in, I'm like, fuck, what have they got you for? Yeah. He's like, oh man, they raided my house, they found 3 guns. They weren't mine, do you know what I'm saying? And then as I'm in prison, there's another affiliate of mine that got arrested for shooting somebody in the face. He had mounted charges, he got arrested and he got bailed. He had shot someone close range in the face with a gun. And in the process of him going back to the police station, the police actually parked up, forced him into the car, took him to a graveyard, because they were gonna literally give him no further action. But their last roll of the dice was to wait for him before he gets to the police station, get him in a motor, take him to the graveyard, and try and threaten him. Yep. Into giving information on me so they can keep me in there for the rest of my life. But none of that occurred. He just played dumb. He got no further charges. One of the pals that I was in there with, I got bail. So as I've come out on bail, I'm out for 2 weeks. Custody time limit ran out while I was in prison. So the custody time limits, the police or the prosecution have 6 months to produce the case coming forward in order to proceed with the charges. If they fail in that process of that time, it's no fault of mine that they're not ready to go to trial, because I am. They have to give me bail. Now I'm in the interview room, right? Plaza Police Station. I'm at the back. There's a woman I've never seen before. There's an officer that I've seen from Belmarsh, the one that interviewed me about shooting the guy in the neck. So this woman says to me, I'm waiting for a colleague of mine to walk in. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, okay, maybe some silly case or something like that. Never mind the fact that every offense that we used to do was like a straight life sentence, you know what I'm saying, or near enough. Yeah. We never used to do silly offenses. Yeah. We used to do proper, organized stuff. So this other officer walks in. As soon as he walks in, he's got a smirk on his face. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's him. This guy's a dog. I remember you're investigating a case where a geezer got shot in his home. This woman says to me, Mr. Muganzi, I just want to question you. Interview, roll tape. I'm like, yes. She goes, Mr. Muganzi, I just want to ask you a question. Where was you on this date? So I'm thinking, fucking on this date. Oh my gosh, where was I on that date? I have no idea what she's talking about. I'm like, I don't know what happened. She goes, I'll tell you where you were. You tried to force entry into someone's home, and the end process is you shot the person in the back, So I'm like, oh, fucking hell, what are they talking about? Oh gosh, what? And I go, I'll give you another one, Mr. Muganzi, you're gonna love this, right? I'm like, oh gosh. He goes, how about you try to force entry into someone's home on this particular day, and you shot Mr. So-and-so in the chest with a shotgun. There are now fracturing his rib cage, And in the process, this was the damage that was done. So I'm sitting there. And the other one jumps in. It was Mr. Muganzi. I just want to ask you about the shooting of Mr. So-and-so on the 29th or 20-something of October, where, you shot Mr. Man in the throat. Because the first time when they saw me, they were just trying to gain permission for identification, right? They weren't there to investigate, to interview me. They were just going through the whole process of investigating. They weren't ready for an interview, right? I didn't know I wasn't going to give them anything. And they said to me, Mr. Guys, scrap all this. We don't have the facilities to interview you here. Stop. We're going to take you to Forest Gate Police Station. So Forest Gate Police Station was a Trident, that center at the time, serious, Trident South and Trident North. So Trident South for serious crimes and Trident North for minor shootings. So serious shootings like murders and stuff like that. And Trident North, or it's the other way around, for less serious crimes. So anyway, they take me there. In the process of them taking you to the Trident Center, they get the UV light, run it by you to make sure that you haven't done no robberies, like the cash boxes and stuff like that. You haven't got any ink on you. That could be an extra charge they could chuck in there. And, you haven't got any gunpowder residue on you, so they can just quickly brush that off and collect that or take your clothes. So they take me in there and, they took me to that police station. I didn't see the road again until I was a grown man. Yeah, I didn't see the road again. This was 2010. I didn't come out until COVID pandemic. Yeah.
So what did they actually, how many years did you actually
So I got 24 charges.
24 charges. And how many years did you get for that?
I got, 24 charges that they managed to convict me with.
Yep.
The totality was 59 years. Right, so you get 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 16 years. Overall, I'm thinking, how long am I doing? But despite all that, I was in 2012, I was serving 12 years in prison. 2014, 2013 came by. That's changed. They said, scrap the 12 years. The 2 years that you've done out of the 12, you're doing a 16-year sentence now.
So adding up as you're in there, throwing more on top.
As I was in there. But the thing is, I had the ace up my sleeve that not a lot of people knew. I had a foster mum that's a judge, Crown Court judge. She didn't know that I used to do all of this stuff. As far as she's aware, I was meant to go into drama school. I always pick the easiest subjects in life just to try and mask what I'm doing. Yeah. Even though I had intentions of doing good things, but I also tried to live the life of it. Like a double life where you try to do good, but then also you love doing bad things. As far as she was concerned, I was, even though I never used to live with her, because at the time I'd moved out and done my own thing. I had to get her involved in the situation, and bless her, man, she had to seek permission from the Crown Court that she works in to come in and give a character reference, when everything went tits up. I was looking at a life sentence, discretionary life sentence. You got a mandatory life sentence for things like murder, and you get discretionary life sentences for minor things, but even it's life sentence, right? Yeah, I ended up with nothing. I ended up with a straight sentence, man. But even in that whole process of me being in prison, I've been caught up in murders in prison as well. And murder that took place in prison while I was in there.
In prison?
Yeah, while I was in there serving time. That was a bad situation.
What happened
attempted
there?
Murders.
What happened in prison? What was prison life like for you personally? You're a big man.
Yeah.
You can be quite imposing. You're calculated. Yeah. Did you feel comfortable in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt comfortable in prison because despite, your stature, your size, or how tall you are, I'll treat you with respect. I always find it that I'd rather be respected and loved than feared.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when you're feared, everyone has a common goal in mind to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Whether that would be stitching you up, stabbing you, hot watering you, or whatever. But I was a bit of a dick when I needed to be, in prison. I chat my way around if I need to, force officers to do things if I need to. But other than that, they would always try to use me as well, put me in a responsible jobs and stuff like that to ensure, that they keep me under the thumb. I've got something to lose if I misbehave as of me not having anything. But at the beginning of my sentence, I used to pressurize a lot of people in prison. But with that murder was a naughty situation. It ended up on Sky News and the whole shebang. That was a bad situation.
Where was this? What prison was this?
This was in Coldingley prison. I tell you what though, this is fact. I tell you, when people kill people, when people go out and they murder someone, one thing, because obviously I've been with murderers, You know, one thing that I've realized and I come to terms with is when someone commits a murder, they don't stick around to see the transformation or the metamorphosis or the soul leaving the body, the whole process, taking place of that person dying.
Yeah.
They commit the murder,
and they're off.
Pin you in the head, off. Chiv you up, off. You know what I'm saying? Hit you with a bat, off. They don't stick around to go, oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh, this is gruesome. When that murder took place, I was with killers. I'm talking about double murderers. You know that they're coming to the end of their sentences. They're working through. They're people that have committed 2 murders, 3 murders, and they've come. Because the kid's got chived in his chest. I'm not gonna. He got chived in his chest. Even though the guy beat the murder, right? He got chived in the chest in front of 60 people, right? And some of the people stuck around to see what's happening with this kid because the knife went straight into his heart. And some of the murderers were shaken by that. Yeah. They come back to me and they looked at me and they said, yo, they said, did you see that? As soon as that happened, I was off. Yeah. Right. I ain't sticking around. Yeah. Right. Some of these people, even though they've killed people, so I don't know, it was out of curiosity that they wanted to stick around and see what happens. But when they saw the stiffening of the foot, when them feet stiffen up and the eyes start pinging around the head, it's pretty horrific. Yeah. No matter how, it's not something that you be quick to get over. Yeah. Seeing the person take his last breaths, they've come back to me and they said, yo, what does it mean when his foot stiffens? I said, listen, that kid's dead. This is before it's even been pronounced dead. Yeah. Because we were on our way to prayers. He got killed in his way to prayers. This
Over what?
Over a mobile phone. Over a mobile phone, man.
That's crazy.
He was due out in 8 weeks. 8 weeks, man.
How did you change? When you went to prison, how did you change? Did you still have the same mentality like you had before you went in there? And you were in there from 2010 to
2020,
a 10-year stint. How did you personally change your lifestyle in there, or your personality, or the way the vibes you're giving off to people?
Obviously, at the start, when you start off, you're a bit childish because of my environment. Not just childish, but I'm quick to throw my toys out the pram. Because normally, if I disagree with someone, if I don't like what someone's doing, we just get straight into it. Cut out all the bullshit. Where are we going with this? But in prison, I've realized that there's some monsters in there, man. There's triple murderers in there. You know what I'm saying? Like people that are in for genocide have just been caught. I'm talking about people that sent people to villages and they've massacred babies. And these guys' demeanor, you'll be none the wiser that these people are responsible for doing things like that. They're very nice. Like as in how they carry themselves, they present themselves, how they dress, how they speak. They don't come across like these kids that you see running around in the streets. These kids that run around in the streets are accidental murderers. No one comes out of the house plotting to do the perfect murder and chiv someone in the street thinking you're going to get away with it. You ain't getting away with shit. Murderers are the ones that carry themselves, that blend in with society. They do shit for the community, but if they're called upon to do the work, you'd be none the wiser. You'd be like, oh my gosh, did you hear Derek murdered 6 people? He was such a nice guy. I didn't see that coming. That's the guy you need to watch out for, not these silly kids that are running around in the street. So I came across some of these guys, man, and I was taken back.
Did you ever have the fear of anyone in there?
Because I was No. Because I treated people with respect. And there was guys with mental health in there. There was murderers with mental health that slipped through the net. I remember once or twice I got into a situation with people with mental health, but one thing that I've got patience for is people with mental health. They can push and push because I know you're not in full control of your situation. Get people that suffer from what's that when you believe things that don't exist, what's that called again? Psychosis? Is it psychosis? Psychosis. So these people believe things that don't take place or haven't happened, and because you're big, they come up with issues in their head like, I've got a problem with this guy. So even when you do talk to them, don't come across as condescending, come across as respectful, and be like a book. They can see, even if they have to believe that they can see through you, let it be play like that. Just don't let them go away with it.
So how did you change? Because where you're today, you've done 10 years in Nick.
I've done a third of my life in prison, to be honest. A third.
Like anyone listening out there, any kids, what advice would you give them right now? The kids go around the streets killing people, stabbing people.
Do you know what? I will tell you one thing, right? everyone that's in there for killing people or stabbing or over a stupid moment of anger, all the guys that I was with, this is God's honest truth. I don't want people to think, oh no, listen to him, prison's cracked him.
Yeah.
He's fell off, it's because of prison exchange. No, the people that I've been in there with, the people that are in for murders that are doing 30 years, they think about suicide all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Because there's no way out. Listen, I was living that for 10 years, right? And every day for 10 years, I used to think to myself, there's a possibility I could die in here without getting out. Because 10 years is a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be here in 10 years. No guarantee that any one of us in this room is
Did you know when you were going to come out? Or were you thinking 2012, they've whacked they've whacked more on me, they've whacked more on me, whacked more on me?
No, do you know what? I had a release date, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking, it's a race against time.
Yeah, okay.
The good thing is, they abolished gate arrest. You know gate arrest?
Go on.
So gate arrest is a thing where, back in the day, the police would wait for you to finish your sentence. And as you come out thinking you're a free man at the gate, they'll say, Mr. Muganzi, do you know what I mean? Oh, we've got a crime that took place we want to question you about, so they can remand you or chuck you straight in jail straight after doing your bird. So they got rid of that. I knew if I can make it to a release date, it's illegal or it's not something that they can do, because from when they first clock on that I've done an offence, they have to come and investigate ASAP. So if there was no offences coming forth, and I can make it out in time,
you're out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. But
was there anyone in there that you feared?
Oh, there was no, I won't say fear, but I'll say wary. There was a guy in there that actually slit another guy's throat in Belmarsh because the IRA were after him in his head. Everyone was wary of this guy. I won't say I was fearful of people, but I was always wary. When there's wariness, you tend to keep people at arm's length.
Yeah.
Communications at a limit. Yes, no type of conversations. Yeah. Hey, how are you doing? Sometimes even if you reach out and you extend your hand and you ask, hey, how's your day been? Whether you mean it or you don't, means something to you. Do you know what I mean? But I was always worried. There was a lot of people with mental health in there that were serving life sentences that I was worried in there. I was in there with some characters. There's a guy that I used to have it in there with one of the guys that done the 53 million pound robbery. Yeah. It was a trading partner of mine, Paul Wallen. I don't know if you've come across Paul Wallen. Yeah, me and him were kind of like that in there. So yeah, we're very tight in there.
Is he out?
Yeah, he's out. He's out right now. He's doing mental health awareness, and spinal injury awareness, because I don't know, he got shot in his house.
That's right.
Yeah, he got shot in his house.
He's in a wheelchair, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. Yeah. So he's pushing positivity to, through, the best way of people learning is through stories.
He's doing good stuff.
He's doing very good stuff. So me and him were kind of like that.
Yeah.
That situation that I mentioned, I was actually with him when this guy with mental health has been going, because me and Paul used to train together, we used to eat together, right?
He still trains well now.
Yeah, he's still actually he's doing well, right? So me and him are sat on this table, and I said to him, "Hey, Paul." He says, "Yeah." He's probably gonna laugh when he hears it. I said, "Did you hear?" He says, "What about?" I said, "Fucking this geezer over there. There was a Muslim brother, white guy, big beard, mental health, lights are on, but there's no one home, right? He's about 25 stone. He's been nipping into people's rooms, cells, right, hanging over them, going, picking issues with them. But I knew the brother had mental health. Yeah. So I said to Paul, listen, fucking hell, man, this fucking guy's paging people in themselves. Me and him are talking about it. And even all the bad boys at the time on the wing were getting paged by him. What are you saying? Wake up. He's hovering over your bed, asking you what's the issue. You're like, what are you talking about? He's got a chip in his hand. But what you're not going to do is go to the offices and grass. Yeah. You just don't want to be the one that he takes his frustration out, because them cells are small. So as we're talking about it, I hear, "Ghost!" That's me. I looked at Paul. Paul's looked at me. He goes, "Let's have a word." Because we used to sit outside and eat. You see, we never used to eat in our room. We used to sit outside on the landing and eat. Yeah. Everyone turns around and looks at me like this. Because he's been paging the last 10, 15 guys have been getting popped up in. So now he's chilling outside his cell like this. So I've looked at Paul. Paul's looked at me, he's gone. So I stood up. I've gone over. I said, "What's going on?" He said to me, "Come in." I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell, man. What the fuck? I've gone in there. It's pitch black. It smells like wet dog. There's no ventilation, no air coming through. The only light is coming from the telly. And he's walked in behind me and he shut the door. So I looked at him, I thought, oh, this is a bad situation to be in. So immediately, because we were the same size, remember, he would just chiv you up and get grounds of the least responsibility. He was waiting to go Broadmoor, actually, right?
Okay.
And he's the one that was serving a life sentence, and he slit someone's throat in a dinner queue in Belmarsh because the IRA, the voices told him, this guy's part of the IRA and they're trying to take you out. This poor guy that was in front of him getting his dinner, beans and rice, had no idea that this guy's got thoughts in his head, right? So he's called me, and I already knew about his situation. He's doing a double life sentence, right? He's waiting to go to hospital. Straight away, as soon as I've looked at my situation, I've just sat down because I appear to be less threatening. Now, if you're standing up, looks like you're squaring with someone. I've sat down. I thought, ooh, this can go to one or two ways. I sat down. I said, what's going on? His name was Ted, right? He goes, scratching his head. He goes, the other day I said hello to you and you blanked me. Do we have a problem? He's blocking the exit now. I'm looked at him. I thought, fucking hell, what are you talking about? Now I'm thinking to myself, I actually thought I had a problem with this guy. Now he's making issues up. I said, but I didn't say that. I'm thinking that in my head. Yeah. I said, the other day when? He says, by the gate. I said, hello to you, right? You didn't say anything to me. Do we have a problem? I said to him, nah, Ted, I was rushing to the gym. I said, I ain't got no problems with you, man. Come on, bro. And I must have heard you. I was rushing to the gym. Yeah. The equipment's limited. I wanted to get the equipment. I said, nah, sorry, my bro, man. It's nothing like that. He came and sat right beside me. Took out this big fuck-off knife, put it on the table. And he grabbed his head like this. And he goes, I'm sorry, man. I'm not all right. I haven't been taking my meds. Right. So I stood up. I said, yeah, man, no problem. Patted him on the shoulder. I said, I'm going to go back and eat my food now, yeah? He goes, yeah, just sat there like that. As I stood up, went back, sat down, Paul said to me, what's just happened? I said, oh, you never guess what? As I said, what? I hear, Paul, can I have a chat? Same geezer again. Paul stood up, he looked at me like that. It's fucking when I had a chat with this guy, but he managed to patch things up with this guy. But there's a lot of people in there that had their throats slit. You know,
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. How did you change? How different are you today than you were?
Do you know what? If I'm going to be honest with you, for me, religion played a key role in me changing. Mentally coping, I had to channel my energy into other things, you know, spiritual development, religion, and focusing on trying to get out and do positive things in my life. Because now I'm married, I won't believe it. I lecture in a university, you wouldn't believe that. You know, I do PTing and I'm an online coach. You know, so my life has somewhat
properly turn your life around.
Yeah, somewhat definitely done a U-turn, and what I'm trying to do is trying to prevent as many kids as we can, you know, and as I can to, you know, turn their lives around for the better, because it's definitely not worth it, man. I've met lifers in prison that have said to me, listen, if I had a second chance to grass, I would grass. But, you know, your opportunity's been and gone, mate. Yeah. And they'll openly say this, you know.
Do you reckon there's a high percentage of people in there who have grassed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, there's more grasses in prison than there is probably out here, man. You know, there's someone in there will probably, it all stems from hating, do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're doing something, you know, if you're bringing drugs into the prison and the guy's not getting anything, or, you know, this guy's looking at a life sentence, there's nothing new to that, you know. People, this comes with the game, and that's another reason why even while I was in prison, my mind state started changing, because the game's not what it was, you know, like back in the day, you know, you stand tall on your word, and if you get caught, you just keep your mouth shut and just go down and do the bid. Nowadays, you get caught, the guy that you're with, you trust in your life for this guy to keep quiet.
Might bubble you up to get a...
as soon as they hear sentences like 30, you're looking at 30 years. Now it's not even 30s, it's 35 to plus. You know, the other day I was talking to a fella that told me that apparently they're thinking about introducing 50-year rec. Now with a 50-year rec or a 30-year rec or a 35 rec, how it goes is you have to do 30 years before you're considered for parole. Not after 30 years you get, dodge. Yeah. You know, you could go out, you're done. Right? After 30 years, they'll look at your paperwork. They'll knock you back just to see how you react. Yeah. Come back in 2 years' time, so you'll be like, fucking hell, I've done 30 years.
Do you not think that's a good thing? Saying someone, you're in for 30 years. Do you reckon that will prevent people?
It hasn't worked though, has it?
No.
These silly kids are running around.
That's my point. That's my point. It's like what can prevent these silly kids going around stabbing each other and killing people? What can prevent that? Do you think there should be something in place where if you are caught with a knife you are caught with the big samurai, the weapons, you are guaranteed to get 10.
Do you know what? I'll tell you, I still don't think that would
you don't think?
I think that all stems from people being scared.
Yeah.
Because these young kids are scared. Their friends are getting stabbed.
Everyone's scared, so everyone's carrying.
Scared. A lot of people that are carrying are scared. Because really and truly, if you think about it, anyone that's out there to do damage, don't want to be walking around with a knife for no reason. You come out, you use it, and you fucking put it back, and you keep quiet. You know, you don't want to get caught with the knife. Yeah. But they're walking around with knives, anticipating other people getting knives out on them. And they're thinking the bigger the sword that I have, the less chances that the person would attack me. But then you find someone that's dumb enough to lunge forward, fall on top of your sword, right? These knives have got jagged edges and shit like that as well. Like the survival rates are very, very low, man. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then now, you know, I was teaching some kid that got caught up in a murder where, you know, they were fighting and someone got chived and the guy that stabbed him, you know, ended up killing him. And his other pal didn't even know, but they got him on camera trying to get a knife out with 2 hands. You know, and this kid's never been in trouble before. Now he's doing, 35? Yeah. You know, one stupid moment of anger. And what it is as well, kids ain't channeling their energy into positive things.
Have you got any regrets?
No.
No regrets?
No. I to take responsibility of my action, my crimes. You know, I put my hands up to that. Everything that I've did, you know, and everything that I've gotten, I deserve it. And I'm somewhat apologetic to the victims that I have because I've reached out to the victims and tried to do the sycamore tree thing, you know, sycamore tree where you meet up with victims and you make them secure that, listen, if I do get out, nothing's going to happen. I do apologize for the stuff that I've done so they can just get a bit of closure. Yeah. But if I hadn't, I would have done worse. You know, if I regret, you can't regret your past. You're meant to learn from your past and move forward. You know, as long as you try your best to amend what you've done in the past. You know, everything that you have done, good or bad, is led to you being you today.
Who you are today.
You know, have you removed anything from there? You know, your life would have took a different direction.
How's your world today? You come out in 2020 in COVID.
Yeah.
Who's Adam today?
I'm a lecturer at uni. Into fitness myself. Teach people, you know, personal training, online coaching. Help people with confidence and physical well-being. You know, just to try and build on people's confidence. So, PTing ain't just helping people pick up weights. Yeah. It's give and take. It's like nutrition, mindset, not just that mindset. How you're thinking. How's your day been? You know, you just help people tick over because everyone's got problems, you know, with what they've got going on. Not just that as well. I'm teaching a lot of kids and I'm helping kids get qualifications in personal training. I'm teaching personal trainers. I'm helping kids get gym qualifications so they can get into work. And not just people that have never been in trouble. I teach people that have come out of prison to try and provide a way for them out of that lifestyle so they can have a qualification and go into something legitimate. You know, so I'm giving back. This is my way of giving back to the community, all the hurt that I've done, all the devastation that I've done. So for me, it's a form of giving back, you know, even though I can never give back to.
And your spirituality, how much has that played in who you are today?
It's a key factor for who I am. It's knowing and, you know, it's called being God conscious. Always aware that God's watching, you know, the actions that you're doing, and try to be a better person today than you were yesterday. So every day it's a journey upon trying to be a better person than you were the day before, you know, putting other people first and stuff like that as well.
How do you think, what effect do you reckon you had on your mum being put away in prison and how you are today with her?
To be honest with you, that if I'm going to be honest with you, that kind of destroyed our relationship somewhat a little bit because she didn't see it. She didn't come to see me for the whole time that I was in there, and I take responsibility for that.
She didn't come to see you?
No.
Okay.
No. She didn't.
Were you like, Mum, stay away, I don't want you here, or no, I want to see Mama?
No. To be honest, it was partly like that. I never said don't come see me, but if she came to see me, I wouldn't have stopped her, you know. But I felt like I've grown apart from. Our relationship grew apart 10 years of not seeing each other, not communicating. I think the first couple of times that she'd ask me, how long have you got in there? I used to tell her, I'm coming out in 6 months. Yeah. Every 6 months. Until she got tired of asking. I was going to tell her, Mum, I'm serving 12 years. Do you not scrap that, Mum? I'm serving, you know, I'm doing a 20 now. Do you know, that would be too much. So I'd rather keep her in suspense or let her give up than just settle with the fact that I'm doing 20 years.
And how's your relationship with her today?
It's getting better.
Good.
It's getting better. Obviously, time away, people grow apart, but it falls upon you to try and seal that and rebuild, burn bridges and stuff like that.
Adam, you've lived some eventful life.
Yeah. It's do you know what? It's also this is giving back to the community, and you know, through stories, it's the best way of teaching. You know, you might have some kid that's going through whatever I'm going through. He's got to think, right, listen, the end story is dead or prison.
Yeah.
You know, neither of them, you know, are going to be of benefit to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, at this precise moment of time, for those kids that are watching, what you got to remember is whatever you're going through right now, as human beings, we go from phase to phase.
Yeah.
Example, what you used to like when you was a kid, skateboards, music, TV, like soaps that you used to watch. As you move along in your life, you know, you grow out of those things. You know, even what you used to be attracted to when you was a teenager to compare to what you're attracted to now, it's not the same thing. So this phase, try and change yourself, because from the age of 18 to, say, age of 18 to like 32 or something, that's when you're most likely to die. Try and choose a better route, because by the time you get to 30, looking back at the stuff you used to do when you was 19, if you're still out and you've managed to stay on a positive route and you're not in prison serving 30 years, 40 years, 35 or whatever, you be grateful that you've stuck on a legitimate. You know,
Adam, I thank you for your honesty.
Thank you. Thank you
coming
for
down
me.
here. Yeah, thank you for your honesty. I thank you for what everything you're saying here is going to help anyone listening who's on that journey. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good man. Cheers, Ghost.
All right,
Good man.